Okay, let's start out by looking around for the white cross pieces. So I've got two here which are already oriented, then this one and then this one. So probably what I would go for here is to try and insert this one and then insert this one afterwards. So I can do D, R, D prime, R prime, like that. Now I've got these three, and to insert this one and match it up with the red center, I can go L prime, wide U prime, L, like that. And the first F2L pair, I've got a few different options. First F2L pair where both the pieces are in the top layer is this pair. So I can solve them like that. Then I've got this corner here and this edge here. So we can do something, this is just a random way of inserting this edge, this F2L pair. We could either go F prime U prime F to set it up, or we can go R prime F R F prime to set it up as well. Doesn't really matter. So we can go F prime U prime F and then insert it. And as I was doing that, I noticed that these two will come over to this position, like so. So I can rotate and then do these by inserting the corner into that slot, taking it out, and then inserting it. That's not a particularly nice F2L case. And yeah, it does take a fair few moves. Then I've got this corner and this edge back here, and I can already tell that I've got all my yellow edges in the top layer here, and this edge back here must be, so this edge back here must be my last F2L edge, and because it's not solved, it must be flipped. So I can do something like R prime U prime R, like that, without actually rotating, and then rotate and insert that. Then I have OLL, and then an F permutation. Alright, so this is a super easy scramble. We've got these two white cross edges already solved. In fact, we've already got these orange ones, but again, we're doing white crosses for the first two example solves. What we can do is, well, we've got a few different options. So we've got this edge and this edge, which the most efficient way to insert them would be R prime F R2, like that. And I think that might just be what we'll do. And I think what we should try and do is, whilst we're doing the R prime F R2, or before we do the R prime F R2 in inspection, what we should try and do is plan out and figure out where the location of our first F2L pair will be, or try and influence that first F2L pair. So let's do the blue-red as an example. This is kind of getting a bit more advanced, but I think in a case like this, it's not too tricky. It depends on sort of your skill level. But if we do R prime F R2, this corner will end up in this position here, because it'll just go R prime, F won't affect this corner, and then R2 will move it up to that position. So this corner will move up to this position with the blue sticker on top, and we've got this edge which will actually go to the back right slot here, because if we do R prime F R2 like that, it will move like so. So the F will move it to there, and then the R2 will move it to the back. So instead of doing R2 at the end, what we can do is do R prime F R. Now we've got this edge piece, which we're kind of free to move anywhere we want. So what we'll do is move it over there. So now when we finish the R2, this corner will end up back here as we planned, and this edge will be over here. So we can easily insert it into that slot like so. That was, kind of long, but hopefully made sense. Then I've got this corner and this edge back here, which are the easiest ones to insert. I do notice I've got these two, but that's quite an annoying case, and I would have to rotate to solve them. So it's a much better choice to do this corner and this edge. So U prime, R prime, U, R2, U prime, R prime, like that. Then I'll rotate and do these two, which are very easy. And then I'll rotate and do these two, like so. Then I'll do OLL and Y permutation for PLL. Alright, for this scramble, the first thing that jumps to my attention is this green cross, but the pieces aren't solved correctly relative to one another. So it's actually a little bit tricky, or it's not that easy to solve the green cross. The one that sticks out to me after that is the red, because we've got these two relatively correctly solved relative to one another, as well as these two, which can be very easily inserted. So again, what we're going to do is try and plan out the location of our first F2L pair and potentially influence it. So if we do a D2, that's going to only affect the pieces around the bottom layer, so that's not going to really do anything. And then we just do L R prime. So the L will move this corner down to this position, and the R prime will move this edge down to into this position. So we can go ahead and do this corner and this edge as our first F2L pair. So D2, L, R prime. Then we can go straight away and pair them up and insert them like that. Then I can do this F2L pair. And what I would probably do is rotate to the left like that, so that I can insert them into the left. And then I've got my last two F2L pairs. I'll probably have to rotate here and insert these ones. And then these two were a very easy case. OLL and then PLL. For this A permutation, I'm kind of inclined to actually rotate and then execute it rather than do a permutation and then do a U prime, because I don't really like doing AUFs after A permutations, but you might be good at it. Okay, we finally got a scramble where the cross isn't super easy. I think it might just be best to go for white in this case, because it's a reasonably straightforward solution. So we can do something like D, L prime to get these two prepared. And then we've got these two, which are both kind of misoriented, but we can do them very easily with R, F, R prime, like that. And then do a D at the end. Then for my first F2L pair, the F2L pair that wouldn't require a rotation necessarily would be this one and this one. So we can do R prime U R, L prime U L, like that. Then I see I've got this corner and this edge back here. So U, and then I would insert them like that. Then I can do this edge and this corner. A nice way to insert this F2L pair is move the corner over to this position, do R prime F, R F prime, known as sledgehammer, and then insert it. Then I've got this F2L pair, which belongs in the back right slot there. Then I've got my OL and an R permutation for PLL. Here's a scramble where we have many different options in terms of what we can do for our cross. I think actually the easiest one might be again to do white, because we can just do a D prime F R prime from this position. So to D prime F regrip, and then do R prime D2 R2 like that to finish off our cross. And then we've got this first F2L pair into the back left slot like that. These two can go into the front left like so. Then I've got to figure out how to deal with these. What I can do is do something like U prime R U2 R prime to set them up, and then insert them like that, and then an easy insertion case for my last F2L pair. Now I've got OLL and then PLL, G permutation.